instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Other Dangerous Podcast, where we talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks.
And if it can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. And tonight, we are bringing you another edition of Halfway to Halloween.
Oh, you know it, baby, because this time of year, like we said in the last edition, you just need it.
Mm-hmm.
You just need it.
Craving it.
I mean, we just passed a holiday for those to celebrate, right? But you're sitting there, you're like, oh, this is a candy holiday. This is the inferior candy holiday.
Right, because you get all the good candies, too, but they just have, like, the pink and green and, like,
I mean, don't get me
blues.
wrong. Easter candy's good. I mean, you need some fucking Reese's eggs and shit, like Cadbury cream eggs. I'm good. Yeah. But then you just sit there and you're like, fucking zone out. And you're just like, oh, God, Halloween.
Dude, Cadbury eggs, bro. Cadbury eggs are, like, my favorite. They're like kryptonite to me.
Oh, they are, but then, like, what was it, a couple of years ago? They came out with the Cadbury Scream Eggs.
Yeah, with the green goo. Yeah. Apparently, a little fun fact for those candy lovers: Cadbury eggs are different in the UK.
They're different everywhere now. They used to be, almost 50% larger?
Right, but I mean, the ingredients. Apparently, in the UK, there was some deal that Hershey put in. They were like, "No, fuck that! You can't bring that better taste and stuff over here." Apparently, they're so much better in the UK.
They probably are.
We'll probably have to put in a request to get some of those over here.
I can get some. I have like a ton of British customers. I will get us a fucking set, man.
Oh shit, let's rock, and we'll debut them on our Halloween special.
Just us.
Yeah. This one is pretty scary. It's got some.
I can fit two in my mouth.
Nice.
Anyway,
but all right, before we get into our halfway to Halloween spectacular here, we're gonna send it over to Jay for tonight's jump scare.
Thanks, Ken. So tonight's jump scare comes to us from David from Ogden, Utah.
Big Dave?
Yeah, Big D. David says, I was standing in my parents' room talking to my very sick dad at the time. He was dying of stage 4 esophageal cancer. That's rough. I got the feeling something was behind me. I looked towards the doorway to the living room, and something about 4 feet 6 inches and fully black is peeking around the corner with its hands on the door frame. I ran towards it, and it slipped back around the corner. When I got outside the doorway, there was nothing. My dad was completely confused when I stepped back inside the room when I told him. People who stayed at my house in my dad's final days claimed to have seen it. My mom saw the figure on multiple occasions in multiple places until he passed away. We haven't seen it since.
Yikes. Could that be the man himself coming to take what's his?
I don't know, man. That's some scary shit. I mean, especially when you start thinking about it, it's like, well, what does that mean? And it's like, well, you see a black figure, your mind goes to what? Oh, that's not good. But then it's like, oh, that's my dad. And it's like, fuck, what did dad do that we don't know about?
Yeah, right. You're like, I've seen ghosts. I know that.
Right. Yeah. Oh, do I remember it? That's burned into my memory when I was a child. I was like, is that really what happens?
Right. And you know what was scarier for me when I was a kid was the get off my train, that fucking guy. I was like, whoa, hey man, it's Patrick Swayze, relax,
Well, he had seen Roadhouse, so he was like, look, I know what you can do.
Yeah, I gotta put on the act here.
Yeah, so
fully ghost act.
Exactly. So thanks David. That's
David.
That's spooky, and that falls squarely in the either head scratcher or shadow person, but to me that's the same, because who the fuck knows what shadow people are? I don't know.
Yeah. Don't think there's anyone that really does, besides what's her name, Amy Adams on the Fear Files.
Who's that?
She's the worst, is who that is.
That story gave me chills.
Oh, yeah,
Start this. He's not invited to this episode.
Oh man, all right, thank God.
We got too many bugaboos.
Yeah, it's true. True. Once we hit one of them, boom, we're right in the hole.
Exactly. So, all right, Ken. So, doing the halfway to Halloween thing.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you give us the
skivvy on what's going on here? What we doing?
The proverbial bottle of champagne across the prow.
All right. So, what we're doing first? So, we decided that what we're going to do is we're going to talk about two bucket list haunted attractions that we would like to go to. Each. Two bucket list haunted locations we'd like to go to.
The real John.
Or John's. And then also our favorite Halloween decoration then and now.
Hey, this is serious shit.
Oh yeah. And then what do we have? We said
our
a couple
favorite
of
Halloween episode of TV.
Oh yeah, yes. Got mine locked in. It's been a busy day for Jay and I, but we're here to bring you
we're keeping it loose, man.
Yeah,
we're just here to hang out.
All right, so
hopefully you're doing the same.
Yes. Hopefully you are. So I'm going to bring you the first one here. Now, this one I stumbled upon in my early days of scouring the internet for haunted attractions when I was a young man and just wanted to make them and be a proprietor of one. And I stumbled upon Thrillvania.
Are you on the hunt for a haunted house? Well, look no further. Thrillvania Haunted House Park has 3 of them in one location on 50 wooded acres. Voted one of the best haunts and best selfie spots in the country by Haunt World and American Haunt. And learn the history behind these 3 haunts that date back to 1901. Go to ThrillvaniaHauntedHousePark.com, located just east of Dallas in Terrell.
Now, this is in Texas. Now, the first images I saw, which set me off, were, and I quote, Hollywood-style werewolf costumes, right? Now, the story of this, it's pretty cool. So I'll give you a little bit of the legend of the haunted house. Now, since years have come, they kind of veered from it. There's still the main lore, and the house is fucking sick. If you can look this up, like the main haunted house that they have there. And I'm a kid, I see this house, and there's just werewolves on the roof and crawling all over it. And I was like, gotta find out what this is about. So, the legend and haunted history of Verdant Manor at Thrillvania Haunted House Park. It is often said that a house cannot be haunted unless it has a history. And Verdant Manor has quite the history. According to legend, Verdant Manor was the home of a werewolf, Baron Michael Verdant, and his vampire wife, Lady Cassandra. Herein lies the dark and twisted tale that led to the haunting of Verdant Manor and the nearly 50 acres surrounding it. It all began in 1901, when the construction of a strange and twisted structure began to emerge adjacent to the old plantation cemetery. The antebellum-style manor, the creation of a psychopathic scientist, Baron Michael Verdant, and his vampire wife, Lady Cassandra d'Orque, quickly became the subject of horrifying rumors and much speculation. Baron Verdant brought in foreign workers to dig deep cellars, and wild stories began to circulate about Verdant exhuming the dead for more space, or perhaps some darker purpose. When the manor was finished, all the workers disappeared overnight, which further fueled rumors. Some say their spirits still haunt the grounds of Verdant Manor today. Being a werewolf...
I think your bio, anywhere you have written, that should be the first, being a werewolf.
Being a werewolf.
Ken James.
It's happening from now on. Being a werewolf, Baron Verdant keenly desired to release the beast that lies within all men. Deep within the hidden recesses of his manor, he conducted cruel, painful experiments on the human beings abducted by Lady Cassandra from the surrounding countryside. These mysterious experiments created hideous, malformed creatures. Neither holy man nor animal, Verdant considered these creatures as failures. He turned these failures loose on the grounds to fend for themselves, devouring any unwary and unwanted visitor. Nightmarish masquerade balls were held at Verdant Manor on nights of the full moon, with human flesh served openly to the guest. Stories about Baron Verdant hosting nocturnal haunts chasing human prey for sport caused the town folks to take shelter at night. Enraged by the creature's attacks, the townspeople eventually took to the streets. The angry mob tracked the monsters back to Verdant Manor, locking them in the Baron's laboratory to die in raging chemical fires. Cassandra, caught sleeping in her crypt, was decapitated and her body mutilated. Chased down by vigilantes, Verdant was bludgeoned and stabbed to death, and his bloody corpse laid to rest deep in the grave in front of his manor. Gathering their injured and their dead, the townsfolk tried to forget the horrors that they had seen that night. But for the creatures like Baron Verdant and Lady Cassandra, death is more of an inconvenience than an ending. Here we go. We're capping this one off. Years later, the manor and surrounding grounds were sold to Vincent Carruthers, a local wealthy landowner. Always a Carruthers doing this stuff. He's always up to shenanigans. No mention of the previous horrors were made to the new homeowner and his family. After all, it was presumed that Vernon was dead, and the town wanted to forget everything. On October 21st, under the eerie light of the full moon, the Carruthers family were hosting a gala ball in their new home. Little did they realize that Verdant and his vampiric bride were still more than alive than dead. They crawled their way out of their graves and burst into the manor, killing Carruthers' family and all the dinner guests in a most brutal fashion. Verdant placed the bodies of the Carruthers family and their guests throughout the house in grotesque scenes of macabre as a final insult to their memories. He quickly began new experiments and resurrected his past failed attempts. Soon the grounds of Verdant Manor and the surrounding acres were once again haunted by the dead, undead, and creatures more beast than man.
That's
it's look. I'll tell you what. I like the story they put behind it. You know.
Now this is in Texas, yeah.
Yes.
Is this one of the ones that does it all year, or are they just October?
They used to. They might have changed it. Like I said, they kind of
fucking COVID.
No. They used to. They used to do all year round. Like that's when I saw them. I was like, "What? This place exists all year round?" That's how I sounded as a kid. But I think they might have adhered to maybe a more, seasonal approach.
Yeah, I only ask because like Texas seems to be the place where like all those places are located, where they have like year-round haunts, which is very cool to me. I wish they had those around here.
Right. I still don't see anything about like them
tickets.
Not being well, they have tickets, you can get them, but you have to like it's saying like pick the date. I'm not going to go on to that right now, but they were all year round, and I'm sure they will be at some point. But yeah, the cool thing about it was all the werewolves. Like I hadn't seen that, like a all werewolf style haunted house.
No, that's cool. Yeah.
And when I was a kid, you obviously know I wanted to either be the Hulk or a werewolf. And this is one of my places I got to go to just to satisfy that little kid in me.
Right.
And of course they added, there's like a clown thing and another fucking, spooky maze with corn.
Is it a haunted circus? Because I've never seen that at a haunt.
You haven't seen those?
No.
Oh no. Yeah, they have yeah, they have all kinds of silly other attractions. 3 haunted attractions. If you enter, if you dare.
That's usually how it goes. They give you the 3.
The world famous, Verdant Manor, which is the one we just went over. Then there's Cassandra's House of Clowns. So the vampire has a house of clowns.
Okay.
Get the fuck out of here. And then Sam Hines' Trail of Torment, which is, of course, once bitten Lady Cassandra, now delusional, and psychotic Sam Hines attempts to lure her. Come on, like we get it.
It doesn't involve ketchup?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hines, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
I don't know.
But yeah, if you look it up, it's cool. They have a lot of pictures and stuff, and I'm sure you can find some stuff on YouTube about it. It's one of the ones that on the like shows that do like the most haunts in America has been kind of overlooked. But if you look at like best haunts in the United States, it'll be on the list.
Gotcha. Sounds cool. I mean, I would definitely go for it. Excellent. So for my first pick for the 2 bucket list haunts, Lem Mansion and Brewery.
In St. Louis, Missouri,
I've been expecting you!
a beer-making family with suicidal tendencies inspired the haunting of Lemp.
When I saw the bodies hanging above me, and all I can do is look up like, oh my God, I'm about to die.
It's a chilling tour beneath a haunted brewery.
They'll kill you! Kill you! Oh my God, what a...
The haunt is in 20,000 square feet of naturally occurring underground caverns, 50 spiraling feet under the old Lemp Brewery.
Death would be the theme of this haunted house.
Guests cannot escape the restless souls of the Lemps, who died before their time.
Welcome to my bar!
In the late 1800s and early 1900s, the Lemp family made a fortune brewing beer.
Lemp was a name that was as famous as Coca-Cola or Ford or Goodyear tires.
Then in 1919, 3 generations of hard work were obliterated.
Prohibition shut down the brewery and really threw William Lemp Jr. into the depression that we believe resulted in his suicide.
The Lemps didn't deal well with misfortune.
Between 1904 and 1949, 4 members of the Lemp family committed suicide, 3 of them in the Lem Mansion. There were tunnels between the Lem Mansion where the suicides occurred and these tunnels and these caverns. So this area that we're in is considered one of the scariest and most haunted places on Earth.
The tragedy of the Lemp family makes this haunted house more extreme and more haunted.
A $20 ticket buys passage back to when the suicides were fresh.
You'll never get away.
10 individual scenes, from the winery to the demon nursery to the torture room. Recreate nefarious activity in a mansion gone mad.
Go this way if you want to die!
And for guests and actors alike,
I think this place is haunted.
the most terrifying moments come from the Lemps ghosts.
I've heard noises, I've heard knocks, I've heard things falling over. I actually had something fall over in my scene one night. Just fell off the bar.
I just truly believe that it's haunted.
The Lemp spirits haunt this entire neighborhood.
That was honestly the scariest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Get out of here!
Now, if you're, if you're steeped in the paranormal, such as your two hosts are, this should come as no surprise. I mean, this place is fucking infamous, and I don't mean just because like the haunt is like that's like just extra.
Yeah,
this
right.
place. Whew.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'll give a little rundown, but what determines whether a building is haunted? When a person dies in a house, does that automatically make the place haunted? Is it a murder, a suicide, or an unexplained death that makes a building haunted? How about 5 deaths in one mansion, with nearly all supposedly being by their own hand? Would that make a building haunted? The Lem family truly qualifies as one of America's most haunting ghost stories, with much scrutiny on the seemingly possessed Lem Mansion. So yeah, this place is built in the 1860s, and this was home to the Lem family and located next to the brewery. It's like right next to it.
Right.
By 1870, the Lem Brewery was the largest brewing company in St. Louis, dominating the beer trade until Prohibition closed the plant in 1919. Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah.
Like, you think about that. Like, you're booming, and then the government comes along. Yeah, sorry, no more.
Yeah. That sucks. That's so bad.
It really does.
So bad.
And by that time, the family had already endured one heart failure death, which was Frederick Lemp at the mysterious age of 28, and 1 suicide. That was William Lemp Sr. From 1919 to 1949, 5 more deaths / suicides occurred. In 1920, just days after her marriage, and with her husband in the next room, Elsa Lemp supposedly took her own life with a gunshot to the chest, but left behind no suicide note. The Lemps called their doctor, an attorney, and the coroner without her ever notifying the police. The police weren't involved until at least 2 hours after her death. In 1922, after the selling of the Lemp Brewery complex at auction, William Lemp Jr. ended his own life inside the mansion office with a shot to his heart.
Poetic.
I mean, he was shot through the heart, but you're to blame.
Yeah. You're in love with bad.
I don't know. Again, no note was left behind. Then in 1943, William Lemp III died of heart failure at the age of 42. William's unnamed illegitimate child died inside the mansion somewhere around the mid to late 1940s. And they kind of gloss over this, but remember they were talking like he was like a monster. Remember he was like there's something wrong with him, and they kept him like chained up in the basement.
Yeah, okay.
Do you remember in the episode they did for MTV's Fear where like they had like, oh, this is the wheeling cart that they kept him in, and it was all chained up? It's like, this is not real. They even called it something else.
Like we don't know, all too familiar.
Right.
Those shows.
Exactly. In 1949, Charles Lemp committed suicide in his mansion bedroom after shooting his dog in the basement.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't know about Chuck there. He went off the rails a little too hard. Knowing several other Lemp suicides remained suspect, Charles left a note with only the words, "In case I am found dead, blame it on no one but me." Following his brother's death, Edwin Lemp sold the mansion and it became used as a boarding home. Then in 1970, the final death of Edwin Lemp at age 90 ended the family line. It is believed Edwin lived that as long as he did only because he sold the mansion and left the evil behind. So, although the Lem Mansion gets most of the press, many suspect it was the cursed business that drove several of the Lem family to suicide or ill fate. The Lem Mansion and Brewery were connected by a series of underground tunnels and caverns called the Caves of St. Louis.
Okay.
Very interesting. Years ago, this natural cave system provided the perfect temperature for aging beer. The Lemps would use these caves of stone arches and Gothic walls to walk to work each day. Today, it's a horrific haunting experience like no other. And they have, like, the haunt is located in these tunnels, which is really cool. I was watching this video where they were going through it. It gets so cold down there, and some of, like, you could be in, it's in October, and there's frost on stuff down there. It's crazy.
Right. It's also the perfect temperature for Zach Bagans to go crazy down there.
I mean, does he need a perfect? What do you think is the perfect temperature? Like
anywhere there's demons. Anywhere there's demons.
Anywhere there's demons. Yeah.
Which is everywhere to him.
Yep. I know. So, just continuing on, the Lemp Brewery dynasty is one of the greatest ghost stories in documented history of the paranormal, but the real and truly scary place in the story is the brewery itself and the caves underneath. So, today they have, this is where the haunt is located. They have these underground tunnels that lead between the brewery and the home, but it's like this huge space, and it looks like something out of it looks like the Paris Catacombs in some areas, looks like a World War II bunker in other areas, looks like Silent Hill in other areas. It's pretty fantastic. I was watching a couple videos of these, and I've seen them a bunch before, and it's pretty awesome because they go for like a whole like descent into hell kind of theme. So the last room you're in is this giant like Satan thing, and there's it's got huge wings and shit. It's pretty fantastic. So that's maybe pick this one because it's it looks like fucking Dracula's castle, but it's like but then at the same time you got a very cool haunt in there at the same time. So
and they're like beer's cool here.
They're like, yeah, please have some of our beer. Which is crazy. I'm surprised. It's like, yeah, have the haunt and the walkthrough, but why don't you resurrect? This is the time. Resurrect the brewery. At least do a microbrew or something.
Right. Pop-up bars are huge now too.
Yeah, and have a different label every year. You come through the haunt, and then that's the only way you can get it, and you buy it when you go through. There's a different label with a different suicide on. I don't know. That's fucked up. I'm sorry.
Well, no, it's I do that with Bar Rescue. I make horrible drink games up for each episode with every tragedy that happens because I am a delight. These are the things that I do.
Allegedly.
All
right, buddy, what's your number 2?
My number 2, all right, it was a tough pick because there's a bunch, but I had to go with sheer size.
Okay.
Erebus. Have you ever heard? You've heard?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You're done. I told you there's no such thing as time travel. I'm cutting your funding.
Doors being slammed in my face never bothered me. It's the ones I've opened that keep me awake at night. Because I've succeeded. My time travel lab, disguised as a haunted house. And I need more test subjects to finalize my work. Bring in the crowds. The portals are open. Subjects are being treated like a virus and being destroyed. I need more subjects. More. Erebus, it's about time. Travel. Buy tickets at hauntedpontiac.com.
So yeah, it's basically the Greek mythology of this is the son of chaos and brother of night, the darkness beneath the earth through which the dead must pass to reach Hades. So the little history on this is the owners of Erebus, Erebus was founded by Ed and Jim Therabus, veterans of the haunt industry since 1981. Erebus opened its doors in 2000, has gained national recognition as being one of the top haunts, as well as earning the Guinness Book of World Record for the longest walkthrough haunted attraction in August of 2005. They had the title until September 2009. They were unseated by Cutting Edge Haunted House.
I don't know that one.
Okay, well, I'll get into a little bit after this,
Okay.
but Erebus leads its victims through 4 stories of unique and terrifying paths with fear so intense some call it pain. And their theme behind this is the Erebus time machine. Dr. Culber, a mad scientist obsessed with time travel, actually figured out how to make it work. But in doing this, every time he got one of his subjects into another time period, that time period itself looked at them as a virus and wiped them out. Obsessed with trying to make this work, he sent more and more of his employees into the time machine until he ran out of time and money and subjects, which brought him to a brilliant idea: disguise his time machine as a haunted house. Now he has an endless supply of human guinea pigs to use in his experiment, and better yet, they unknowingly fund the program. So the whole thing's set up. It's 4 floors. It's a massive structure. It's basically a parking garage in Pontiac, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
And, the lines are crazy, dude. Like, it's like 2 lines around 2 whole blocks always. And like the whole theme is you're going through like different portals and rooms, and you're just this witting subject getting sent to another dimension. So you walk through all these different kind of dimensions that are going to basically the other side, which I think is a fucking awesome concept. And from what I hear, they rarely have to like change that. You know what I mean? They really have to like, stray from it. They just have to update it and keep making it better, better actors and stuff like that. But the theme is great, and it's been long running, obviously, like I gave you the dates there. And also, the Cutting Edge Haunted House, it only beat them in being the longest walkthrough, and which is like over an hour. But the problem is, from what I hear, it's just like, it's not as like, it's like,
well, that happens. Some haunts, they have a couple of years where it's just like, it's okay, and then like, they regroup and it comes back, or they don't.
True. A couple around here that I wish would just get their shit together because they used to be so good.
Like Valley of Fear.
Oh, absolutely. I'll bring it up every time, dude. Growing up, had the best haunted hayride. They fucking a fire, quote unquote. Took it to the haunted houses away because they had a couple great haunted houses, like really good ones. And then they got burnt to the ground, and then they sold a bunch of their shit. It was just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You blew it.
It happens, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, so far, that's as far as that one goes. It's just one big haunted house, 4 floors. Probably the closest you'll get to an actual 13 haunts or 13 floors that we've all mysteriously heard about when we were kids that never really existed.
You mean like the 13 floors?
Yeah, 13 floors. Yeah.
That was the year I was in college in Philly, and like everyone's like, dude, there's this haunt, right? And like, you got to make it to the 13th floor. There's no lights. You got to get it. I'm like, where is this? Nobody knew where it was. Nah, man, my buddy went, and I'm like,
my buddy,
where
my
is
brother went. My brother went. Yeah, I'm getting those.
He made it to like almost the 13th floor, and then like
the floor drop.
Yeah. Like they don't let people win, or they don't let people do because there's like a cash prize. I'm like, I was like, where is it? Show me where it is. I'll try.
Yeah. Well, me too. And I told you about that. I was 17. They said you had to be 18 to go in, but I was with Boyd. And they were Q102 in the area. They were like, we're live. We're going live this week, this Thursday from 13
floors. It was a joke, right?
Yeah, it was a joke.
Yeah.
So me and my buddy Boyd up and down the fucking boulevard.
Yeah.
For fucking 4 hours. Like, you'll see the spotlights. And there was a bunch of them out. I'm like, what? We're seeing. So we're going through.
Motherfucker.
And I'm like, we can't find it, And Boyd was like, we'll get you in, dude. We'll get you in. Dude, you're 17. You look like you're 18. We'll get you in. It was doing all that. So if I'm pulling up out front of his house, or like, I'm pulling into the neighborhood, which is like right where I live now, actually, which is funny. Yeah. But they were like, after the commercial break, we have a big announcement to make, And then like, because they had all like the sound, like the people were behind them. It sounded like they were in the streets and everything.
Right.
And they come back and they're like, hold on. And then you hear like a mic like do this, and you hear like the headphones go on, and they're like, we were kidding. It doesn't exist, you idiots. And I was like, dude. Friggin' 4 hours of my night gone.
Not awesome.
Not awesome.
But it's funny how that continued, because then like I want to say years after, people were still talking about it, like, dude, it was like the next year, like, oh, I know where it is. It's in this apartment building over here. I'm like, it couldn't be. Yeah. I was like, what?
There's not even 13 floors over there. You know,
no, it had a lot of floors. It was
okay.
If you're going like towards like the art museum, there's the like if you're going towards it on the right of it, there's those like section of like all those apartment buildings. Someone was like, no, it's that one right there. I'm like, well, where, when? Let's do it.
Yeah, no.
So
and they're like, oh, they use real rats and real roaches, and they've had the smell of death in the room.
They shit in your mouth.
Yeah, they'll shit right in your mouth. Someone's in the corner. He likes stew.
Oh no, not the miner.
Yeah, there's a miner in the corner. He's gonna make you eat stew.
Yep. So that brings us to my second selection of the evening. Go ahead and get it out of your system. Go ahead.
People like stew.
All right. That's our new "we can't get through an episode" quote.
Yeah.
Peter James, are we all right with it?
I'm coming through.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably ask the naysayer, Sylvia.
Well, because she could never be wrong.
Sylvia.
No one likes you.
Yeah,
Iced tea? Iced tea?
Can I tell the future? Absolutely not.
All right. I'm glad they're all here for every recording.
Yeah,
it's hard to get these people together. You people don't understand.
Well, you know, two of them we have to call the other side. One's making commercials with Stone Cold now, so you really got to worry about him the most.
Well, he's the most expensive one.
Exactly.
Okay. So for my second pick is Haunted Overload in Lee, New Hampshire. Now, if you have Instagram, you've seen this place.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dead and undead. We are going to have the time of your death.
Haunted Overload. That place is full of weirdos and losers.
And I recently did kind of like a deep dive on it. I was watching a bunch of videos on it. Now it's the one that has all like the everything looks like it's made out of like wooden planks and like painted, and it's a forest walkthrough, which is pretty incredible.
Right.
And where it's at, it's like in the middle of the woods, so it's just everything's covered in leaves and
right.
They have all these very like the whole haunt looks like it was pulled from the Sleepy Hollow movie. Like that's the best way to like it's got like this like handmade like gritty, but like looks like it's been sitting there for a couple centuries at the same time.
And it has that giant like wooden skull sculpture, right? When you
it
first
has a skull, and then there's a giant jack-o'-lantern in the one area,
right?
And then they have that they built just for the haunt. It's a black Victorian like mansion.
Okay.
So awesome.
This is actually because we were talking about this. It's actually in that documentary that was on Netflix for a while, Haunters.
Oh, it's on there?
Yeah, it's in there,
okay.
But it's in a mishmash with like McCamey Manor and other places. Yeah, I'm gonna hammer that.
We'll leave that till the end.
Yeah, because I got some built up stuff for him. But yes, okay.
I think a lot of people do.
I'm sure that's what we'll get into.
Well, for Haunted Overload, which is a great haunt, they offer, which I really appreciate. They have a daytime walkthrough, which is just kind of like walk through and just check out the stuff, because like I think that's a testament to like the quality of their craftsmanship over there. Like it looks good in the daytime, but then it also looks great at night when it's like underlit with like green lights and like you know, you got the spotlights of the blue and the purple or whatever. And then it also has a nighttime light version, LITE, where you can go through and it's not too scary. And then there's the last one that they leave for experts. Crushing difficulty. Where apparently it's pretty fucked up, and like they don't let, like they said, they don't let kids in, like anybody under 18 doesn't go through.
Right.
I actually don't know what happens, but this is one of the things that makes me want to go, and it's not that far away, to be honest. I'd love to check this place out. Let's do it. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, no, it's definitely it looks awesome. It definitely looks awesome. And I know when we were talking about it, I was like, I know, not just like searching around Halloween time, but like I was like, I know I've seen this stuff before. And then
there's a pretty cool video. They're YouTubers. I think they're called like the Grim Life Collective. It's something like that. They went through the haunt, and I watched their video, and like pretty damn cool to see everything that goes into the haunt, and like different ways, and like it's all a use of like wood, painted wood, and then draped fabrics. Like that's all of it. But like just using that, and like everything just looks incredible. And I just I want to go.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I love when they can deliver something that's like such a unique experience. Well, and a shout out to, like I said, when I went to Bates Motel in Arisafa Farms over the last Halloween season.
Right.
And for COVID, they weren't running the hayride, so you could walk through it, which is a great idea. And the sets were fucking awesome. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Really cool opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah, maybe they could utilize that in future years where we don't have to, social distance, but like that. Yeah. That's like maybe just like a new dynamic where, hey, now you just walk through it.
Right. I mean, honestly, it's a huge Pennsylvania tradition, the whole hayride thing, like, because we have so many farms and they love it.
It's a huge New Jersey
tradition
as well.
Sure. I'm talking on my end, and I know you were.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, like, it's not just you guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, man. Kindergarten. We visited the pumpkin farm. We did a hayride.
Yeah.
Somebody had a sheet with a fucking soccer ball hanging from the from a tree, and it was a ghost.
And you were like, "This is crazy."
And we were like, "Ugh." We were kings. We didn't even know it.
Absolutely.
I had my book it certificate.
Yeah. You were ready to hit your Pizza Hut later.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yes, man.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. So I guess we're going to transition now into bucket list actual haunted locations.
Yeah, I mean, these are the ones where it's like, okay, give us two if you had to say.
Yeah. What
would be the two that you would pick? Now, we'll do a little bit of light lore on these because, we're not deep dives, we're just having a good time over here. But what's your first bucket list pick?
So I have two. I had two that I had to nix because we went deep on them on this before. So obviously, in our we want to believe intro episode.
Right.
Waverly Hill Sanatorium is just like
that is my top one.
Yeah, it's a mecca, right? It's like the one.
Yep.
And then the Queen Mary. Those two were just like those are two places I have to go. But like I said, we're doing a halfway Halloween. Let's bring some new shit in here that isn't exactly new, but newer than we talked about. So, and I'm sure we've mentioned it, but I got to go to where our infamous "I'm Coming Through" clip of Peter James comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. This barren, windswept island in San Francisco Bay is home to America's first supermax prison. And it's always had a sinister reputation. As far back as the 1400s, Native American legend claimed it was inhabited by evil spirits. In the 1800s, the U.S. military erected a lighthouse, a fort, and a jail on the island. The first inmates were hardcore Confederate prisoners from the Civil War, some of whom died as a result of the deplorable conditions there. Decades later, in the 1930s, a new kind of criminal. Gangsters were ruling the nation's streets. And authorities needed a place to put them.
The prisons people said, well, we've got to have something that's going to hold people who are this violent. So they looked around and said, what do we have?
Alcatraz became a federal penitentiary in 1934 and soon got its nickname, The Rock.
Alcatraz was the last resort. This is the place that you came when they couldn't handle you. They decided this was the place that was going to handle you for good.
One of the most famous was convicted murderer Robert Stroud, who became known as the Birdman of Alcatraz. Gangster Al Capone went from public enemy number 1 to inmate 85 on Alcatraz. In solitary, Capone began a physical and mental decline from which he never recovered. And racketeer James J. Whitey Bulger, currently a fugitive on the FBI's 10 most wanted list, also served time on the Rock. Life on the island was so harsh that self-mutilations and suicides weren't uncommon.
One of the famous stories is the story of Ruth Percival, who one day just lost it. He chopped off the fingers of one hand and then held out the hatchet to another inmate and said, chop off the fingers of my other hand.
Tales of torture began almost immediately. Rumors started to circulate that the prison was haunted. Some guards began to think solitary confinement, called the Hole, was the residence of evil. In March of 1963, the Federal Bureau of Prisons shut Alcatraz down. But the reports of ghostly apparitions here never stopped.
I gotta go Alcatraz.
Sure.
Because, I mean, apparently San Francisco is one of the most haunted places in the country, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, you think of, New Orleans, you think of Philadelphia, you think of Boston, you think of those kind of places. But sure, San Francisco. All right. But for those who don't know, with its century-old history from ancient Native Americans to Fort Alcatraz to a military barracks, and most often known service as one of the toughest federal penitentiaries in the nation, it is no wonder that this place is said to be one of the most haunted in the nation. Often described as a portal to another dimension, Alcatraz is filled with energy of those who came to the rock and seemingly never left. From its first visitors, tales and legends and the island have circulated for several centuries. In the beginning, the Native Americans believed the island to be inhabited by evil spirits. As severe punishment to violation of tribal law, Indians were sometimes isolated on the island or even banished to life to live among the evil spirits. Today, these spirits that continue to lurk the shadows of often fog-enshrouded island have been heard, seen, and felt by both the staff and many visitors to Alcatraz. The sounds of men's voices, screams, whistles, clanging metal doors, terrifying screams are said to be heard within the historic walls, specifically near the dungeon. We can keep going a little bit here, but while the island served as a federal penitentiary, several guards reported extraordinary experiences, including hearing the sounds of sobbing and moaning, which is just, that for me is like a and then you have the terrible smells, reports of what they call the Thing, the entity that was said to appear with glowing eyes, and other reports that were made phantoms, prisoners, soldiers appearing before the guards and families. So basically, it's Eastern State Penitentiary on an island.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot more history here, but I don't want to go too deep into it because there's so much on it, and this could be an episode in itself. But
it probably will be.
Yeah, right. And sorry to give you a little preview here, but it has to be my third on my bucket list of actual haunts that I want to go to.
Okay. No, I feel you on that because my other that I would have put on here, because we already covered it, would be the Paris Catacombs.
Right.
I mean, that's...
Right. Yeah. Like, for me, for claustrophobic reasons, like I couldn't put that up there, but I still want to know,
Well, I would want to visit it. There's no way I'm going into There's no way I'm going into those fucking tunnels. Like, I'll go into the touristy area and be like, oh, is that where you go? That's where you get in? That's
cool. That's really cool.
Awesome. You guys take some pics? I'm not fucking going in there. Nope.
Like, I have nightmares, dude. I have nightmares weekly about being in a place like that, and
here we go.
The doorway to get out. Oh yeah. The doorway to get out is smaller and smaller. I'm like, I'm just stuck here. I'm left.
Yeah.
Leave me. Go.
Yeah. No, I believe it, man. It's not it's no fucking joke, but yeah, Alcatraz. I mean, that's one of those ones, man. It's so steeped in history, and then history on history, because it used to be like it was a Civil War fort, and it just. I remember watching that one. I can't remember what show it was because they all run together. But the one guard said there's the old section that they don't go in because it just had a creepy vibe. I think it was called the Citadel or something. They just didn't go in there. And he was he would
I'm
look
sure
down.
There was a Citadel because there is a Citadel at Eastern State, but that's why he said they're kind of sister haunts in a way.
But it was creepy because he's showing people around. He's like, and this is down here. This is the old Civil War section. He's like, you guys can go down there, but I'm not going to go down there. And it's just
right. Yeah, it's and a lot of people, they skip over the Native American stuff.
Yeah, I mean, no, because like you were saying, it had a special, the island had special meaning because it was, wherever there's a confluence of rivers, I think is always has significance to Native Americans. So it's yeah, man, you get that perfect storm, and then you just throw on top of it that just absolute masterpiece of a film, Escape from Alcatraz with Clint Eastwood. I mean, it doesn't make it scarier, but it's just yes.
Yeah, it builds its personality.
Yes,
it builds
fake
its
faces, hair stolen from the fucking barber. Yes.
And then Nick Cage is running amok in there with Sean Connery, and
Oh yeah.
And what's my favorite line is that he's just like, I'm doing my best, and he's like, your best. Losers always are whining about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. You're like, oh, I want to be that guy. You're like,
Yeah.
You know?
It is a movie. Real people don't talk like that, so I'll just say,
Right. Of course they don't. You know,
I know it's good stuff. But actually, my favorite, as a small aside, my favorite part about that movie is that there's like the fan theory that's like it's a James Bond movie.
Right. Yeah.
Which
yeah,
I actually like.
that.
If you watch it with that in mind, it's like this is actually really fucking cool.
Right.
Because Sean Connery is supposed to be James Bond. Like he's been locked up for years.
Right.
That's really fucking cool.
Yep.
And James Bond people, don't email me. I don't give a fuck.
But one of the things I love about Alcatraz too, and the Birdman and the infamous escape, right?
Yes.
MythBusters did it.
Yep.
Countless documentaries have done it. And
I think they got out. I hope they got out.
Same. And it goes back to them at the mother's funeral, the two brothers.
Yeah.
And the FBI was there, and they saw two very large women, that didn't seem to be, women.
Right. I hope it was like a Looney Tunes episode where like it's clearly not a woman, like
they have
hairy
beards,
arms, but with dainty gloves and like big red lipstick and
that's how I pictured it. And they have like fans, they're fanning themselves.
A string of pearls, a moo and just pumps.
Yeah.
but no attempt to cover up the leg hair. So no panty. Right. Like that's
And another fact: the mom would get flowers every year for her birthday and cards. And it's like, I'm going, they made it. Even if like Mythbusters and other people were like, no, it's impossible. Look, you're covering up that these guys were never caught.
No, and then a Clint Eastwood's character, Frank Morris, I think his name. He apparently he sent postcards to two people. Like, it wasn't, there was nothing, it was very much, and I'm sure it was inspired by like Shawshank Redemption, where like he just gets the postcard, no note, no nothing. It's like, this is where I am.
Yep, I made it.
So, probably Zay Wataneo. I don't know. God, I love that movie.
Dude, it's I'm sorry, best movie of all time, and I'm gonna say it. Like, and
I'll agree.
I hold that firm. I was in training the other night, and one guy was like, controversial thoughts that you have. This one kid I trained with was like, Shawshank Redemption is just okay. I literally looked at him.
Is he dead now?
We're stretching at the end. It was after training, so we're stretching, and I was like, "Yo, don't fucking talk to me again, dude.
Yeah,
like don't talk to me again. Like you're an imbecile."
Yeah, I want to say like the Green Mile gets close too. Like it's close, but there's something. But because Tom Hanks is my boy, but like that movie, man. I don't know how this turned into the Shawshank Redemption podcast, but
that prison's on it. That prison's on it.
That's true. It is. It very much is. But I don't know. There's just something about that movie. I don't know why, but like the end of it just makes me so fucking. I'm like, you know what? I was feeling shitty today, but you know what? Friendship prevailed.
Yeah. Right. Just because look, in the actual book, Red was an Irish dude, and look, the actors they cast.
Maybe it's because I'm Irish.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So like there's so many quotable lines from that, and there's so many. Dude, like the cinematography, just the whole movie is, I'm gonna say back to front perfect. And dude, when he sees him on because you have that moment, right? When he's on his way, he's like, the bus, he's asking people, he finds under the obsidian, the stone.
I love it, dude. That scene.
It's so good. So then you have this moment of like, he's not gonna get there. This is kind of hopeless.
Yeah.
And then when he fucking sees him sanding the boat.
Yeah.
And he just like drops his shit. And he has that smile that he keeps talking about the whole time.
Yeah.
And it ties it all in, and they hug, and it pans out, and you can go to sleep happy, folks. Because friendship prevails.
Friendship prevails, and that's I love that movie. Like literally, like when there's nothing on or there's just I don't know what to watch, it's like that and like two other movies, and it usually ends up being that.
Yeah, I have to watch that movie every 6 months. I do. I really do.
It's there's something just about it. It's just and Green Mile too. Like I'll throw that one in there too. Like I said, that's another one, but it's very similar. Also, same writer.
Yeah.
Same screenwriter too. So it's like it's very fun. Like they were like, hey, let's do this again.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So Stephen King and Frank Darabont. They made that happen.
Yeah. Stand by Me's up there. I did throw that out there, but okay.
I do like Stand By Me, but there's a wholly depressing parts in that really bug me. But as a mood.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Tonight on the Film Review Podcast.
They're used to it.
Yeah, they are. So how about Batman?
We'll talk after.
So, all right. So, yeah, absolutely. Alcatraz. I love it. So for my my first pick, the Goldfield Hotel, Goldfield, Nevada.
What is it that makes a place scary? Is it the empty hallways of a crumbling ruin? A legend of the dead reaching out from the grave? Or a powerful presence that overwhelms the emotions? In Goldfield, Nevada, a decaying desert ghost town, there's little question of the most frightening locale, the Goldfield Hotel. Once a palatial residence for prosperous land developers, the hotel is now a decrepit ruin, rumored to be haunted by spirits of past guests. Paranormal experts have long been eager to explore the Goldfield Hotel. But once inside, are they prepared for what they might find?
This fucking place. Now,
Yep.
this kind of goes into the same territory of one of our previous episodes with the Old West and the when we were talking about Tombstone. It kind of has a very similar feel. This is built in 1908. I'm not going to go too deep on it because it's infamous, but it's built in 1908. Like I said, trying to capitalize on the gold rush towns and all that kind of thing, and it's a hotel, like we mentioned in previous episodes, so lots of deaths, lots of births, lots of violence,
lots of sex.
Oh yeah, there were plenty of soiled doves hawking their wares. And there's also allegedly there's a moonshine still on the property at some point, and then there's several reports of ghosts in this hotel. I mean, there's the famous woman, the ghost of a woman who she was the mistress of the gentleman who built the hotel, George Wingfield, and she got pregnant, and he was like, nope, can't have this.
Nah.
So yeah, pretty much. So he chained her to the radiator in one of the rooms until she had the kid. And when she had the kid, he threw the baby down the fucking elevator shaft.
Right.
And then just let her die there.
Yeah.
So, whatevs.
Yeah.
He could have been nice about it and just like killed her right away. I mean, that would have been in the long term. That would have been, whatever. But that room is notorious even to this day. Even though you are no longer allowed to go in here anymore, they've actually closed it completely. They don't do ghost tours anymore. They don't do anything. There's also the ghost of a gunfighter that apparently is seen at the end of hallways. Like you'll round the corner and then there'll be like he'll like come around the corner like and then he'll just he'll like grab for he'll put his hand. It turns into Quick and the Dead. I mean, it's just Yep. How about that left-hand draw? Yeah. Bladder full of hot air. I can't go into voices again in this episode.
Although I enjoyed the shit out of the last one. But
let's just talk about Gene Hackman in that movie for the rest of this episode. I already told you she was unfaithful. Dude, that's another movie right there. That's another one.
We just talked about that on Tombstone, so we can.
That's right, we did. That's like eating a bowl of mashed potatoes. There's just nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
And then also, and this was was this 2010? I don't have my fact sheet in front of me, but who cares? When the Ghost Adventures crew captured their, piece of evidence that brought them to, let's say, quote unquote, prominence, the flying brick. Remember that?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
And their
beam falls, the brick goes.
Yeah. And that was like the compelling evidence for what? Good 5 years? I mean, you look at it now, it's still like, hey, there could have been some trickery going on, but like that catapulted them, man. Like Ghost Adventures was spawned out of that documentary and it happened at the Goldfield Hotel. And it's a hell of a piece of evidence.
It's funny. He's been chasing that ghost ever since too, hasn't he?
Dude, that's chasing the dragon, man. He's I think he's been chasing the perfect eye after they got that, and I think that was their one piece of evidence. And it was like, yeah, they had some cool shit happen at other things, but they never captured like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that was. I think that fucking scared the pants off of them, and they were like, "Yeah, let's do this."
Dude, I think I told you I was recovering from spinal surgery when I was 12. Spinal.
Thanks,
it was
Mike.
Spinal. I was recovering spinal surgery when I first saw that documentary, just because I was on MySpace at the time, and like, you know, and I was.
What was
like,
your song on your profile?
Oh, I had my own music at the time. You know.
Oh, that's right.
I was pushing Ken James at the time.
That's right.
AKA Sharp. Sharp the Black Sheep.
Right.
Well, the Mighty Ken James that came later
That was
from
later.
someone else that took. Yes. They took control of that. That wasn't my name. They took control of that. But you know, and I saw that, and I remember just being like, I can't run right now. If anything happens, I'm on my mom's couch recovering from spinal surgery.
Yeah.
And I was like, I immediately followed them all on, you know, and then I immediately like looked up all their TV news appearances, because they did a bunch after that.
Yeah,
like,
no, and I remember talking to you about it for the first time, because there was like a little bit of time where we didn't talk for a couple of years. And I remember us talking about it, and we were sitting and watching it together, and I was like, this is something. And then I was like, dude, because the first episode of Ghost Adventures came out when me and Christina were in the hospital when she had Mia, and I watched the first episode while Christina was laying in the bed, just had Mia, and I'm like texting you, dude, you watching this?
And I'm like, dude, didn't you just have a kid?
Yeah.
No. You're like, I don't know, maybe.
You watching this? Oh man,
this is why the podcast is successful.
Yes, because this is more important than everything else.
It's so funny, so funny.
Yeah, man. But yeah, the Goldfield Hotel, man. That's one of my ones. It still stands to this day, and like, there's always rumors come up every couple of years where they're like, "Oh, we're going to repair it." No, we're not. Yes, we are. No, we're not. Right. You know, I hope one day that they do, and you know, people can go in there, because I would very much like to visit it, because like, they're like, this is one of the places where like, yeah, it's fucking haunted, and you're, you know, lots of people have experiences there. So
yeah, right.
And it's got that Old West kind of like thing to it, which it's just like, yeah. So what do you got for your?
All right, so my final haunt. I was torn, but I had to go to half the bad half's motherland. I had to go Hellfire Club in Ireland, man. I had to.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
hey, that's a hell of a story.
It is a hell of a story, and for those that don't know it,
Neil, could you tell us a little bit about what we're standing in front of, why we're here?
Well, we're here because we're investigating what we thought, and what we've since found, to be a Neolithic passage tomb that was completely destroyed, or largely destroyed, when William Connolly had the Hellfire Club built, originally as a shooting lodge in 1725. He used all, the folklore says, he used all of the stone of an ancient tomb to build it. And that's where all the stories of the Hellfire Club begin, when the devil blew the roof off in rage at this, and they had to rebuild it. So what we're looking to do is to start an excavation to see, can we prove that there's a Neolithic passage tomb here? And if we can we find anything that will give us a radiocarbon date? Because none of the tombs of the Dublin Wicklow Mountains have a date as yet, because the last ones investigated were in the 1930s and 20s. So it's a really good opportunity to look at the site using new techniques in a modern way. Passage tombs are very rarely dug in Ireland. They're very, very important sites, so it's rare enough to get permission. So the National Monuments Service and the National Museum have both been incredibly supportive on this project. And I think the last one to be excavated was Knockrow on the border of Kilkenny and Tipperary, and that was done in the mid-90s by Professor Marissa Sullivan. So it's a really rare opportunity to have a look at this, and we were delighted that everyone was on board with it from the start.
Whew! All right, so Montpelier Hill, I believe it is how it's pronounced, better known as the Hellfire Club Dubliners, is a lovely place for a walk. It has a variety of short forest trails provided by wonderful views of the city of the Southwest. On the weekends, you'll find it busy with urbanites escaping the city dogs running free, and at the top, sits large hunting lodge. If the stories are to be believed, some very ominous events have taken place. From ancient burial site to satanic meeting place, originally at the top of Montpelier Hill, there was an ancient passage grave with a cairn.
Yeah.
I was right. Okay, cairn of stones stacked up on top. But the William Speaker Connolly, But then William Speaker Connolly, one of the wealthiest men in Ireland, built a haunting lodge on the same site in 1725. Connolly is said to have destroyed the cairn, while building the lodge, using one of the grave standing stones as a lintel for the fireplace. Those who don't know what a lintel is, it's the beam of brick that's above it. Sometime later, the roof of the secluded lodge was blown off during a storm. The locals reckon that the aggrieved spirits seeking vengeance for Cairns' destruction were responsible. And so the tale begins. Over time, fact and fiction have become so intertwined that it's impossible to separate them. But why let that ruin a good story? And I kind of have the same feeling there, which I usually don't with other places. But so after Conley's death, the lodge was sold, and it is said to have become a meeting place for the Irish Hellfire Club, a club that was founded in 1735 by Richard Parsons, a man known for dabbling in black magic. And there's cute pictures here of him looking all, looking all poofed. Its members met at locations across Dublin and were known for their immoral behavior and debauchery involving alcohol and sex. Sound fun.
Talk about the shaved baboon. Do you have that in there?
They should. The secrecy surrounding the
I'm
club.
serious.
I know. They should. The secrecy surrounding the club led to speculation that its members were Satanists and devil worshippers. The president was named the King of Hell and dressed like Satan with horns, wings, and hooves. The members were also said to set a place to each meeting for the devil in the hope that he'd attend. The members were also said to hold black masses in the lodge during which cats and servants were sacrificed. Some say the lodge was deliberately set on fire in order to enhance the building's hellish atmosphere. However, the best-known Hellfire Club story is one of the devil himself appears. According to legend, a stranger joined the club members at a game of cards. Then, when one of the players dropped a card on the floor, he bent down to retrieve it and saw a stranger who had cloven hooves instead of feet. He was sitting there. Another popular tale concerns a young farmer who was curious to find out what went on in these clubs' secretive meetings, climbing atop the Montpelier Hill, and was invited in by members allowing them to witness the night activities. The young man was found next morning trembling and terrified. Traditions say that he spent the rest of his life unable to speak and unable to remember his name. Yeah. There's a black cat feature, with the stuff. Black cats, we get it. Upon the arrival of the lodge, they say banquets laid out, the black cat prowling the room, and it's apparently a fucking familiar or whatever you want to go with. But today, the Hellfire Club remains burnt out and abandoned on the hill. You'll find it located in the Dublin Mountains, about 30-minute drive south of the city center. The hill isn't easily accessible to by public transportation, but a nearby car park opens at 7 a.m. each morning and remains open until 5 p.m. in the winter till 9 p.m. from April to October. So, you can get up there. But, you can also climb the 300-year-old Hellfire Club on top of top of the hill here and look over Dublin City. It's a glorious, look, and it's also, one of their collective. This is a cool place to go to because most of it's another, not so regal castles like other places in the UK, but this is one of those ones that are on those hills that you're like, So what was the 8-man? What was it?
So your one little story kind of mentioned it. What they would do is if they were bringing a guest in, during one of their card games, they'd fuck with them and they drop something off the table, and then when we would get up, they would have this fucking baboon that was shaved.
Okay.
And they would put him in a little cloak, and they had horns on him or something, and they would throw it at the guy it's the devil, and the fucking guy would just flip the fuck out. And apparently they did it all the time.
Dude, that thing would rip your face off and bite your fingers and shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure that was part of the fun.
Yeah, you're right. They're like, he might die. We're rich.
Because all these dudes were just aristocrats who were fucking bored. And what usually happens with European aristocrats when they're bored, they're like, hey, you want to worship the devil? They're like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. And also fuck with commoners.
Yeah. These fucking peons. Let's fuck with them some more. Yeah.
Let's throw a fucking shaved ape at him. See what happens. It might bite him. We don't care.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got it.
Yeah.
So but there's also a lot of things around that area too, where the Hellfire Caves and rumors of this is where Halloween started in this area. And,
there's 3 or 4 sites that claim that.
Exactly. So but I would love to venture out to a haunted place where the devil apparently hung out. Maybe challenge him to a fiddle off or something of that nature.
Ooh. Meet him at the crossroads.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I could meet him at the
tune your guitar.
Yeah. You know, here's the thing, because I play guitar. I'm a hack, but I might get a lot better if I met him there. And I was like, yo, come on.
Yeah, come on. Shouldn't have to ask. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Pick a destiny. Let's go.
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's a good one. It's a good one. It's funny you mentioned the way that you picked that selection. It was half of your lineage, because the place that I picked is the other half of the lineage, because the two of us both being Irish Italian. Poveglia Island.
You son of a bitch.
Sweet.
You son of a bitch.
You have reached your final destination. Hell. We're in Venice, Italy, where amongst these beautiful canals, in popular tourism, sits a place so full of death. Not even the locals will step foot on it.
To spend the night, I think that nobody wants to spend the night here, of course.
This is an abandoned island that legend says was formed by the ashes of the thousands upon thousands infected by the bubonic plague. How many people would you say were burned over there?
Hundreds of thousands of people.
Locals and tourists are forbidden from visiting. Fishermen avoid the area for fears of being cursed.
Manuel, this island has only been used for bringing mentally insane people here. Yeah.
And quarantining people with the bubonic plague.
Yeah, exactly.
When people came here on boat, was it like their death sentence?
Well, at the moment, probably you are going to feel the sense of that for sure, because it's totally abandoned since 1964. They started to refurbish, as you can see, the scaffolding on this building.
During the plagues, Poveglia became a brutal quarantine colony. When citizens showed signs of the plague, they were carted off, often against their will, and dumped on Poveglia.
The people was moved from Venice to Poveglia for dying.
Okay.
Just for this.
How would they get these people over to Poveglia? Would they bring them over in boatloads? And how many people would you say were burned over there?
By time, we speak about hundreds of thousands of people.
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people.
In many centuries, of course.
Now,
there was a fleeting thought.
What's that?
That I was like, I'm gonna go Italian. I'm gonna go to the haunted island that you can't get. You know, I know. You beautiful son of a bitch. I love it.
Gabagool Island. No, sorry.
Sausage and Peppers Island.
Schwoyadel Island. A short.
Tony, she was a Hua Island.
Exactly. Oh man. So a short trip from the New Jersey Turnpike. No, I'm sorry. Satriales? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, God, yeah. Went off the rails immediately.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. I love it.
A short trip from Venice, the beautiful island of Poveglia was once a quarantine zone for people suffering from the plague. In addition, the island was used as an insane asylum in the early 20th century. Ghost hunters claim that this is a spot is a hotbed of paranormal activity, but visits are currently prohibited. Okay, that doesn't even cover anything.
Yeah.
This place, like they said, during the Black Plague, if you I can't even say tested positive, if they thought you fucking had the Black Plague, they just fucking sent you there.
Yeah.
No warning. No, they can send you over there.
And also they're like, if you're insane later, send them over there.
That was later.
Yeah.
And I think the guy in the boat would say, "You have reached your final destination." Hell. But he, they sent, if you had the plague, you were going there, and they just dropped you there to die. And then after enough bodies piled up, they would just have mass burnings, huge piles of corpses would just be torched. And then they would basically just be, after they were burnt, whatever was left over, usually teeth and some bones, were just put into a pit.
Yeah.
To this day, because I don't know why they don't let people go over there. So fast forward a little bit, they used it there was an insane asylum, and there's this huge, and it's actually funny. So the building that's still there, it has this very ominous clock tower. And, you know, if you ever search the island, it'll come up. It's
so
the,
cool.
Yeah, and that's the clock tower from the Insane Asylum. That is a direct inspiration for the clock tower in the Arkham Asylum game, the first Batman game.
Wonderful.
Yep. So, and that is an island as well. So they kind of they drew some inspiration from there. But you know, Insane Asylum was there where, you know, and if we're talking, you know, early 20th century Insane Asylum, like we've covered before, you know, are they going over there for treatment? No, they're just fucking putting them over there. It's like because they know they can't get off the fucking island.
Yeah.
So they sent them over there. You know, and Insane, quote unquote, was a waste paper basket, you know, diagnosis where, you know, a multitude of things would have got you sent there. Yeah. So, you know, this place is literally just, you know, it's just a repository for human suffering. So, and also, and there's also, it's apparently it's infested with like highly venomous snakes.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So it's insane. Like literally, like this place is like literally like, you know, if negative energy could like, you know, focus, you know, you could literally point it out on a map. I mean, it'd be like
negative energy personified. This island.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible. Do yourself, if you've never heard of it, do yourself a favor, just go ahead and do a nice little YouTube search on Poveglia Island. There are so many documentaries that I visit there. And it's kind of cool because like the ones in the 90s, like the buildings are still there and like they're in decent shape, but now you see videos like shit has just fallen down because like and it's become such a superstitious like area. Like guys who, you know, people who operate boats in the area that make a wide berth around this island because they're just like, fuck that place.
Dude, I mean, can you imagine being like a captain on a boat or a crewman and you're like going by and you just hear a ghostly moan and scream from out there? Like,
dude, rewind 100 years. Imagine going past there and hearing real fucking screams coming from the island.
You know, I'm just talking about now. We're alive now. I'm talking about us now.
I'm just saying, like, the horror just continues. Right. Yeah, man. I mean, come on. Teenagers who live in Venice are fucking making rowboats and going over there. I guarantee it because
they hop on their Vespas on the boat so they can ride them when they get over there.
Every Saturday night because dude, if we live there, we'd be doing the same shit.
Yeah, I'd be like, the plague's dead over fucking ashes.
Yeah, you want to go collect teeth out of the fucking sea? Let's do it.
Yeah, make some cool necklaces.
Yep.
They don't really sound like that because they're
they're you know some kind of Italian accent that I can't do right now.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna attempt. I'll nail the Irish, but
right. So, I mean, that's. I mean, if you don't know of this place, I would actually like to not describe anymore because I would encourage you to go just go down a rabbit hole on this because it's amazing. Like it's just one of those areas. It's just like number one, of course, only Italy. Yeah. Number two. Just man, just what an amazing piece of history.
And if on social media you like follow any kind of like paranormal site or like, you know, Bloody Disgusting or something, there's been at least like 10 articles in the last couple of years that have gone like on deep dives on this, and it's easy enough to find, but it's easy enough to never see just because you're like, I'm not reading this name. You know, this is in Italy.
Yeah. Yep. No, so that's my second pick because I mean, I would, if I had the chance,
absolutely.
You know, I'd get a plague doctor mask and just do the whole fucking thing over there, just act like a lunatic. You know,
we'd slink around and talk.
Yeah, I'd bring Ryan just to like, hey, run interference over there. I think that's security. Go over there, just act like a fucking madman.
Yeah, hey, man, did you see? Did you see that movie? We'd be like, tell him about that movie,
Ryan, tell him, like, just talk about 80s fucking slashers for like 45 minutes. They don't speak English, so it'll be funny.
Or you'd be like, yo, that guy loves Godzilla, you know, and he was just fucking.
Yep. But the one with Matthew Broderick. Dude, what the
fuck? Beautiful. Glad we got him. Glad we got him in the stable.
Yes. We are stable of characters.
Yes. So real quick, a couple honorable mentions of haunts that I really wanted to go to as a kid and never got the chance to. One is one that was in the Philly area. It was called Grizzly Gothic Gables, and it was one of the more dramatic. They would do like a show.
Well, so triple alliteration, I would hope so.
Exactly. So that it was you know, it was this family, and they described it because you'd still find the website, but it's basically like a grisly family history extends back to 13th century Lithuania. The storyline is a mashup of the Addams Family, Dark Shadows with a touch of Scooby-Doo, and all manner of mind-bearing scenarios ensues. So it was one of those like artsy kind of like you were a part of it. And I think I don't know, but now there's a place called it's called Blood Manor that's in the area.
Okay,
that's kind of similar. So it was just like an interactive experience. And back in 1999 when I found it, it was already towards the end of its run, and like it was like dying. It was like done, but apparently the art community in Philadelphia was like really into it. I never got the chance because, you know, I didn't drive back then, and I couldn't convince anyone around there at that time to take me. And that was one that I was like, fuck, I really want to go. And one other that I missed out on was Six Flags Great Adventure. And it was Alice Cooper's Brutal Planet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get to go. Eric and Chris went. They told me a bunch of great shit about it. I saw the previews on TV in the area. And, like, top of the line, like, Eric gave me a play-by-play in my grandparents' living room when they came back from it. And those times...
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry.
You gonna cry now?
I might.
Yeah.
I might. But no, I was really sad I never got to go, and I wish I did. I really wish I did, because it sounded fucking tits. And like
I went to a bunch of really good ones. And there's two that pop out, and I'm not gonna go deep, but like there's one that you guys constantly mentioned. It was called Jason's Woods, and like I never got to go. And
they're still there. They're still there, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same mystique anymore.
Right, you're right.
It doesn't have you guys coming to pick me up from my fucking dorm, and then we go like right out to some fucking random ass haunt.
Yeah, like that's in Lancaster, bro. Like we did it once, and it was for my birthday.
Yeah, was it good?
It was cool, man. Like they had like speakers in the hayride, like, and it was at the time state of the art stuff. Like guys were doing stuff. The cooler part was they had like a museum of like oddities and stuff.
That's cool. I like when they do those.
Yeah, because they were one of the people that were doing all those stuff that were making them so renowned in the country.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of different effects, and then you could also get trading cards of their characters, and also they had a comic book of like the scenes.
That's cool.
So it was really cool. Yeah, I got all that stuff. My mom did it for my birthday. It was one of those really cool things. I was like, yo, Jason's was legit. I don't know anymore. There's probably clowns all over the fucking place.
There's clowns everywhere.
Yeah, the whole fucking blacklight section. And you're just like, all right. Spinny tube with, I can't walk over this bridge.
Red and white stripes. Whee! Oh no, he's got a mallet. Oh no.
Chainsaw guy.
Is there really a chain on there?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, no. He touches you, you're like, he got me. Oh wait, he didn't.
Right.
You're fucking 6. Shut up.
Yeah. No. And then the other one was a couple years. This was like 2 years ago. Actually, it's almost 3 years ago now. I took my family to Sleepy Hollow for Halloween, and we did the trick or treating there. But motherfucker, because you know it's October, it fucking rained like a bastard while we were there the whole time, and we were supposed to go. I was going to take my oldest daughter Mia. It would have been her first haunt. It was the Headless Horseman's whatever the hell it's called, and I was stoked on it. And then I was like, it's raining. I was like, whatever, we'll get umbrellas. I'm like, it was just gonna be me and her. She was down for it. I was like, whatever. And then like we got an email like an hour before, like, oh, it got canceled. I was like, god damn it. I think I flipped the table over. I punched the waitress. Something.
Probably.
But I mean, this last Halloween, she got to go to her first haunt, and she really loved it. But
yeah, that's awesome. You were texting me. I was like super excited for her, and you like. You know, like, oh man, that's
I was tapping the haunters. I was like, get him. It was our first time getting it. Fucking chainsaw guy came around the corner, like fucking revving it hard, fucking car. She's like,
and then you're like Jack Nicholson in Anger Management doing the slow motion.
and then we're waiting in line. I would tap the guy. I was like, my daughter and my niece. It's their first time ever. So he's coming over. I was like, what's her name? I was like, Mia. He came right behind her. He was like, Mia. She's like,
how does he know me? How does he know me?
No, because she just looked at me. Dad, you told him.
Mia, she's a smart one. She gets it.
Very much so.
She knows Dad's tricks.
Yeah. She's like, Dad.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't tell him anything. What do you mean? Because I'm sitting over there just like, it's literally Jack Nicholson the whole time.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I mean, we missed that one up in Sleepy Hollow, which would have been amazing. But you know, we still had just as good a time here. It was the Scary Rotten Farms down the road from here, and it's
Nice.
you know, they put in real good effort over there. So
nice.
So so moving us along here, Ken, a fun little Halloween little nook right here that we're about to dip into.
Yes, sir.
Favorite Halloween decorations,
bro.
Right? Now,
you want to go first? You want me to
I was just gonna say we're
Okay,
gonna divide it into two sections. One from our childhood and one from adulthood. No, man, I'm gonna let you go first. What's your favorite one from childhood?
Childhood Halloween is synonymous with Party City, and this. Well, one, we'd always go there to get our decorations, and two, you walk in the door. There's three different things hanging. It's a ghost, a witch, and a bat, and they all shook when you walked by, and they went. Wee! Wee! And I fucking loved it.
Yep.
And I was just like, I couldn't wait to walk in because they even had like the pad that you would step on.
Yeah.
And that was like high fangled technology back then.
Yeah.
And you know, they had a new one that would do it. And you're like, oh, and there's that.
Yeah.
And they're vibrating, their eyes are lighting red. And like,
Yep.
I'm a child in my wonderment, like, whoa, Halloween is magic. And dude, I still like. I was talking to my buddy Toloski about it at work, and he was like, "Oh, they still make them." I was like, "I've never seen one like that recently, and I wish."
I
gotta
have
find
seen
one.
them. I didn't know that was something you were looking for. Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're so good. It was just like, it was such a thing. It was so silly. Like no haunted house would use them. No, like it was just like, you know,
It's just a little reminder.
Yeah, I'm walking into Party City. I'm a kid. I'm getting ready for Halloween. I'm gonna go on the wall and see all the pictures of the costumes. I'm gonna pick it out, get the card, see if they have it in my size. You know, my mom's gonna get the plates and napkins for my birthday, you know, all this stuff. Because the gang knows we celebrate my birthday on Halloween because I was born on midnight Halloween, you know, going to the next day. And it was just, it was the best time ever just walking into that fucking, there's like, you know, a bunch of them just hanging and it's a choir of that. Just like,
good call.
The songs for me, you know, that's, I still think they were saying happy birthday.
You know what? I know they were.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome. Well, for me, my favorite childhood decoration they're known as popcorn window decorations.
Okay.
Yeah, you might have to look them up. They're these flat window decorations. They have a pumpkin face. There was a witch. There was a ghost. It's melted popcorn window decorations. They kind of look like. I have to show you a picture of it.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, my grandparents had the Christmas ones. They never. Oh no, wait, the jack-o'-lantern with the hat.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember those.
So we had those in the window because we had 3 windows in my living room. We had the jack-o'-lantern with the witch hat, the witch on the broom, and the ghost with the eyes saying, "I'm gonna do something to the witch." I always thought, like when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, that ghost is suspect.
You're right. He's sus as shit. I see. Okay, there it is. I see him. Him. Okay.
Yep.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
So these for me are like, this is what in my mind was like, this was the start of the Halloween season when these came out of the attic. And it just, you know, my mom would always bring them down. I remember when she got them, and to this day, I mean, I bought a set for myself because it reminds me of Halloween and it reminds me of my mother, because those two things are, you know, linked, because like we've said, you know, I think I've said previously, my mother's a seamstress. So like she made all the costumes, and it's just, when these came out, it was Halloween.
Yep.
So these are my favorite from childhood. These are my favorite decorations because this is when it started, man. Like, these are in the fucking window. It's rock and roll.
Right. Yeah. And my mom, she would also she would make her own too. Like I still have this witch that she did herself, and it was like weighted at the bottom. The legs still come, so I have it.
Yeah.
She did a mummy. You know, she did a bunch of stuff. She painted this thing. Chris has it now. I didn't take it when I moved. But it's a little ghost house with a Dracula and all this kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I dude, those are the best feelings. Like those are to latch onto those feelings, man, and have that. Oh man, there's nothing sweeter. There's nothing better.
Oh no, it's it literally is the best because it's the things that inform our later and adult enjoyment of Halloween. You know.
Yeah, man, it's just, and those things tied into nostalgia, and if you can keep that feeling.
Oh yeah.
If you can still have that,
Yep.
Oh man, it's so good. I love it.
Yep. You probably thought I was going to say blow molds, but this was before. This is the one that like I can smell it. Like I can smell the smell of like them coming out of the box that was up in the attic. Like it signaled the beginning of the Halloween season.
Yep. And yeah, and then the task of my mother being like, you have to help me get the decorations down. That was like, oh man.
Yep. Got to get a fucking ladder out. Got to go up into the attic.
Yep. But no, I you know what? I knew you were going to surprise me with the first one. I knew you weren't going to say blow molds. I knew it.
No, it's too obvious, and I think I've discussed them on here before.
Yeah, and it's too readily available to you. You know, it's.
Listen, bruh. Do you know how many I have of those fucking things at this point?
Oh, I've been to your place. I know what's going down.
Jesus Christ, it's like an addiction.
Yes, it is an addiction. But I guess I'll take it to my modern ones.
Yeah, buddy.
And I'm going. Look, you know, this is my. Modern technology has made this possible. I love the hologram in the mist, the projector in the mist or on the screen in like a doorway of like a scene that us as kids, we would never imagine.
Right. I know exactly.
We would have never imagined it could be possible. We never even thought until 5 years ago that someone would want to do something like that.
Right.
And it's like, they made it possible. It's like us now, like we're seeing all our comic book heroes on screen.
Right.
Like, there's these whole scenes of like, you know, they do them in the windows and there's like a zombie attack at the window, or there's like, you know, Frankenstein walking across the window pane, or in a doorway, there's this crazy, scary skeleton, skeleton or ghost or something that like we would only experience at like a real high-tech haunted house in like Disney or something.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's so readily available for like a home consumer.
Mm-hmm.
And to have that, it's like they kind of just made like childhood wonderment real, and it's like those ones now are just so cool. And when people go out and like out of their way to do it, and you just like they have their whole house set up with it, you're like, dude, like, thank God for technology, because like now I can just like, and it's with minimal effort you can make something so cool. And like they have whole like DVDs or whatever that you can pop in and program. I'm dating myself with DVDs apparently, but like, you know, whole
download.
Download, put on a flash drive. Like, it's so cool, and I love that. And there's so many. Oh
no, and then they also have like, you can literally buy. They're like, they just look like picture frames, but they're LED fucking screens that have like, and you could put a little thumb drive in the side, and like you could just have the things playing. You have haunted portraits all over.
Yeah.
And because they're not even that expensive anymore, like I think one of those goes for like $100 now.
Yeah.
So you can like, you know, if you're crazy about it, you could literally like fill your house with those fucking things and have like these haunted portraits or whatever you want to have in there.
Right. It's so cool. It's such. I thank modern technology for that so much.
You could have the swirling, you know, vortex from Monster Squad there with, you know, Frank grabbing for Scraps and Phoebe.
Yeah, just man.
Yep.
Poor Frankie.
I feel you, man. That would have been, you know, that's dreamed about. You know, if we saw that, you know, back in the day, like, holy shit, this house is actually fucking haunted. We just went by it.
It's so cool. We couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It was in the doorway. I saw it. No, they were getting killed by a pack of zombies. It was nuts.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Good call.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
My pick for my favorite decoration in my adult years, I'm actually going to go with a decoration from last year that I made with my own hands.
All right.
I made a pumpkin-headed scarecrow, full size. Thing was 7 feet tall. And it was in the front of my house. And what makes this my favorite modern decoration was not, I mean, it's great that like I finally was able to make this thing, because, you know, how many times have you seen this great scarecrow somewhere with the pumpkin head? Like there's the one from Sleepy Hollow, there's one from countless, you know, movies.
Yeah, Jack Skellington.
Yeah, I mean, it's class. It's iconic American Halloween.
Right.
So I was like, I'm making this thing. It was very simple to construct. And the simplicity is what made it awesome, because as soon as I put it up, like I didn't even start lighting it yet. Like cars were stopping in front of my house. Like, oh, what place did you get that at?
Yeah.
I was like, I made it. They're like, bullshit. I was like, no, I made it.
Yeah.
I was like, it's corn stalks. I was like, and then some PVC pipe under there. I was like, this is a carvable pumpkin, like one of the rubber ones or whatever, or the foam ones, whatever it is. I was like, and then I just dressed it up with some burlap and some black paint. The guy was
Sick.
like, "You made that?" I was like, the same dude, and then he just had some gabagool, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
But more people came by, and then I was like looking at some shit online. Then I was like, all right, so I lit it, and then like it just came together. I put some hay bales around it, and I put some jack-o'-lanterns around it, and it just fucking came together, man. And just on Halloween night when people were coming around trick-or-treating, like all these people were like taking their pictures in front of it and shit. It became like the decoration in our neighborhood, and I was like, this is fucking awesome.
That is awesome.
And you know, who knew I'd be making a new Halloween memory when I was fucking like almost 40. Because I wasn't 40 yet. So I just it was just really fucking cool. It was like
awesome.
just seeing the appreciation for it, and people were like, oh, and everyone's like, oh, where'd you get that? And I was like, I made it. Like, oh my god, that's fucking awesome. And then
a car pulls up, and the guy's like, how much you want for it? And the girl in the back's like, I want it now, daddy. And you're like,
I'm like, no, get the fuck out of here. Then another car pulls up. I'll give you some stew for it.
And you're like, tempting, but no.
No, minor. I don't want to leave your stew.
And he's like, all right, have it your way. And then in the back, there's a wounded ape man, like, see ya, and they pull off.
Yep.
Cloud of smoke.
Yep.
That's fucking, no, that's cool, man. No, I saw pictures of it, and I was like, tits. It looked, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, no, it was cool, and just how people really appreciated it, and that's what made me. I was like, you know what, that's fucking cool. And like kids want to take their pictures with it, and then like dude, we were sitting there, you know, it's Halloween night, you're just absorbing it, it's fun. I took the kids out trick-or-treating, and it's like the later hours where we're just hanging out watching some movies, and then like I hear people talking in the front of the house. There's still people pulling up getting out to take pictures in front of
that's
I was
so
like,
cool.
I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Man, that is, you're like the Dick Van Dyke of Tom's River right now, because he does stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he does.
He does.
So, and so does what's his name? Fuck, it's horrible. I can't remember his name. I should be crucified. Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks
also does a huge fucking Halloween setup at his house.
Right. He had but Dick Van Dyke had the people from Making Monsters. Is it Netherworld? No, not Netherworld.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it might be. I forget the name, but he had them make one of their big, huge designs, and then Home Depot was like, "We're stealing that idea."
Yep.
But he had it all draped out, and it had the person that could jump out of the costume, like one of their. Yeah, dude, that's so sick, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was small, but it was well, I mean, it was tall, but I mean, like it was just a cool kind of effort, and I just it was just a lot of fun seeing it come together.
And too, like, and like the fact that, like, I know it and I've seen the pictures. It just looks, it's like, yo, there's Halloween, like there it is over there. That's where we, that I want to be around that. That's Halloween, and it's tough when, like, nowadays, like there are like in your neighborhood, last time we were up, you were telling me about the people that do all the decorations and stuff, and like my neighborhood that I grew up in, that I go every year because mommy is synonymous with Halloween for me as well. I still go, give out candy on my mom's stoop every Halloween. It's just like, I wish they still did it like they did back then, and to have people like you and other people that are around the neighborhood that still do it. I mean, when I have a home, I will, once again do it. But like, oh man,
it's a tradition, and if people don't carry it on, it's not going to survive. Because I'll hear from countless people, because if you know what I do, I make artwork, but I also make Halloween artwork all year round. We have this this subscription thing and whatever, I won't go into it, but we hear from these people all the time saying like, oh, I need this Halloween stuff because nobody trick-or-treats in my town anymore. I'm like, what? Really? No. And then you'll find out it's like a churched up town. Like, oh, we only do trunk or treats because we don't, we don't want the kids going around the houses and get fucked up with razor blades. And it's like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's not even real. It's never been real.
No. Ugh. So it just, but whenever I come across that, and whenever I get a chance to, throw some shade at a fucking trunk or treat, I always take the chance.
Beautiful. Same for me.
No, because
don't let that kind of shit. Like, I hate that. Like, don't let that kind of shit. Like, look, everyone has their faith in religion, whatever you want to do. But like, look, this isn't what it's about. Halloween isn't about any of that. Halloween is about that vibe, that like, oh God, the crisp is in the air. You can toss on a hoodie. You smell someone burning a fire. There's hay, it just, all of those senses, the falling leaves, the wind blowing, and all of a sudden, when all that's happening, you're like, I kind of feel a little chill to myself. and you start thinking about all the stuff. It creeps back into your brain.
Oh yeah.
All the things since you were a little kid that your grandpa was scaring you, chasing you around with scary stories to tell in the dark, and you're watching stupid shows with your dad, like all the. Troll 2 was on. I was freaked out. Couldn't watch horror movies anymore. I'm 4 years old. I shouldn't have been up, or 3, whatever. That's what it's about.
Yep, it's that magic in the air that you can actually feel, and if you can't, you have no business celebrating Halloween. And it's that feeling of walking around on Halloween night and with your pillowcase or whatever, your trick-or-treat bag filled it, and then passing the houses and getting candy. But it's about passing those houses that are dark on Halloween night. It's like, what's going on in there?
And you're like scared, but you still go and someone answers and you're like, wow, they gave me candy.
Or
you were the one.
Or you go up there, it's a fucking old house, and it's got jack-o'-lanterns carved, and there's no pumpkins, and you go and you smash one, and then you come back a few months later, and the house is abandoned, and you still think about it.
Yeah, and that happened to Jay.
Did.
But in the same breath, there are, like we were saying, there are a couple TV shows out there that have honed into the spirit.
Oh, I mean, by nice transition. Halloween episodes, man. I mean, first conceived of in the 80s. God, does any show not have a Halloween episode?
I'm sure they do, but I don't watch them.
So, immediately, like when October starts hitting, like I'll just Google or search on YouTube Halloween episode 2022, and I'll watch shows I don't even watch, and I'll watch their Halloween episode.
This Halloween, I was so shocked, and it was awesome. Peacock.
Yeah.
They had collections of all their shows that are like NBC and whatever, and they were all their Halloween episodes, like every Roseanne Halloween episode, and you could just binge the Halloween episodes, which was so awesome. It's so cool.
Roseanne, you say?
Yeah, right. Well, but before, I want to do a shout out, and you haven't really watched it, but every season, Bob's Burgers has a banger Halloween episode.
No, that's awesome.
And they nail it. They nail it every time.
I'll have to check it out.
It's so good. Yeah. Even if you just skip to the Halloween episodes, you'll find them.
That's exactly what I'll do. I've done it on so many TV shows. Like, I don't know who these characters are, but
and that humor, their humor will lock you in. But I guess I'll go with mine first, since I broke the proverbial champagne on the boat. There's an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
Yep.
And so Otho, the guy who plays Otho from Beetlejuice, he was a psychic.
Glenn Shaddix.
Yes, Glenn Shaddix was a psychic. He was wearing, like a muumuu and the whole hat, and had the blonde hair, I think it was, and so they go to him. Will goes to him, and he with, I guess, so it's Hillary. Hillary wants to get in contact with Trevor, who died, who was her fiance. He was proposing to her in a bungee jump accident and died while proposing. So she wants to go to a psychic to reach Trevor, and so of course he straddles him and he talks like Trevor did and all this.
Wow, this place is really creepy.
I know. Who would put a deco table on a Persian rug? Scorpius! Hello? Is anybody here?
I am Scorpius the Magnificent. I see all. I know all. Who are you?
I have an appointment, Scorpius. We're the bank.
Stop! Don't tell me. You're the Banks family.
Wow. I love when a man pulls my chair out.
Come, sit.
I want to sit close to the door. That was decent.
Yeah, well. Nice shot. Now, make ready to contact the spirits.
Seemed like somebody made contact with one too many spirits,
Mr. Scorpius, do you really think you can reach Trevor?
If he's up there, I'll find him.
Hey, look, Scorpius, check it out. While you up there, why don't you see if you can find Marvin Gaye and find out what was really going on?
I will now make contact with Trevor Collins. Everyone join hands. Spirit guides, I summon you. This humble earthly vessel awaits. Fill me with your essence.
Seemed like some medium ain't paid their electric bill, huh?
I'm getting a message from the spirits. Oh, they wish me to tell you, shut your pie hole. Oh, I feel a presence in the room. A tall, good-looking man whose life revolves around news.
Oh, that's Trevor! I know his vibration! Trevor, I think about you constantly.
And I about you.
Oh, I wish I could see you.
I wish I could see you too.
I thought Day was born when he was alive.
Trevor, now that we can talk, there's something I've wanted to ask you since the day you died.
Oh, of course, Hillary. Ask me anything.
Do you know where I left my black suede purse?
Your black suede purse. Well, now let me think. Ooh, whoa.
Oh, please. Come on, man. I could be sucking on some honey neck bone right now. Yeah?
Oh, the connection is fading. I'm losing it. I'm losing it.
Oh, like you ever had it.
Come back.
Yes, Trevor, don't go.
Ooh. Trevor has left the building.
I didn't get a chance to say goodbye.
Couldn't we try again?
I couldn't possibly traverse the void again. Tonight, that is. Of course, there's always tomorrow.
And Miss Saved by the Bell? I don't think so.
Oh, but let's have a look-see. Ah. You know, I could fit you in around 7, right between the exorcism and step class.
Daddy?
No, I don't think so. And I think I'd like my $1,000 back, please.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, but the spirits don't give refunds.
Listen, Scrupulous. I think you should just give my uncle his money back. You know, we all had a good laugh, but this whole thing is bogus, and you, sir, are fake.
Nobody calls me the F word. Mole sumo comodad. Is kadat. Is kadem. Shalari, shalarim.
Gitchy, ya, da.
From this day forward, you will bring evil to all those in your presence. You will end up alone and forever hexed. I placed a curse on you.
But Will, the whole time, of course, you know, Will is making fun of him the whole time and downplaying the experience. So he ends up cursing Will, right? And he's like, yo, Philly curses, boo, you know, all that kind of stuff that he does. And so slowly but surely, things start to go bad for the Banks family, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, first things up, Uncle Phil gets indicted from taking money for being a judge. So he gets locked up and taken away. Ashley's hair, or like her outfit, something like crazy, all of them. But the best is it's when he's starting to realize everything's going bad is when Carlton is trying to do something with his hair and it becomes like bleach blonde, different colors and shit.
Yeah.
And he's looking at Will and like, dude, it's one of the funny, honestly, like it's one of the funniest scenes in a sitcom ever. And he's like, you have to go back to him and talk to him and get the cursing off. So Will's doing this like run look at him, and Carlton starts going, hurry, and Will's like doing like the half run, and ended up making it into the like their outtakes at the end because like it goes on way too long. Like they did like a way too long outtake, and it was one of those episodes that was so fucking funny. Like I was, dude, like you know, I'm full of. But no, it wasn't that. It was just Fresh Prince was like the shit back then, and like for them to lock down on a Halloween episode like that and like bringing a character from Beetlejuice and all that kind of stuff. I was like, all right, this is legit. This was good.
Nice. Well, my pick, which should be unsurprising, 1989, season 2, episode 7 of Roseanne.
Boom.
Boo. The name of the episode, Boo.
Welcome to the Tunnel of Terror. Ha ha ha! Please join us.
Good evening. I'm Etcetera, your tour guide to the Tunnel of Terror. This is the Master's laboratory where he does his research. Ah, there's the Master now. Or is that just one of his experiments?
Got an aspirin? I've got a splitting headache.
I wouldn't go too near the chef if I was you. You might end up being the main course. Would you like to try some of our delicious intestinal stew? Don't! Let go! Come along! Come along! That way! That way!
This is the only way out. Follow me to the enchanted garage.
Hey, sis. Hey, Jackie. Hey, can you help me think of something to really scare Dan? Because I don't want nothing just gross either. I want something like to really scare him.
Tell him you're pregnant.
It's now this is this for me is the quintessential Halloween episode of anything.
Right.
It encapsulates the 80s. It shows you the handmade nature of everything. It shows you that trick-or-treating, the one-upsmanship that came with Halloween and scaring each other with Dan and Roseanne trying to one-up each other with the Master. Their pranks are fantastic. You even have, I mean, they go across everything. They have the urban legend that they put in there that they try to scare their kids with. You even have the one kid who doesn't like Halloween, but then Roseanne has to give her like the conversation where she's like, you don't even know what Halloween's about, so has to give her the whole little thing, gives her the little come to Jesus moment. And then she ends up going, she comes around. In the end, they have it nice little a homemade walkthrough through their own house, which is a thing that people apparently used to do. I mean, we never did it, but I heard in the 70s and the 80s, people used to let people walk through their house. And they used to decorate the living room or whatever, and would walk out the back door. I was like, wow, that's interesting.
We had a couple in our neighborhood that used to do that.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I mean, you see it in yards more than anything, but
still,
I always thought that was.
There's still some yards. There's one yard, a guy has a bunch of animatronics, and it's a walkthrough. It's really cool.
That's cool.
And right across from my mom's house.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool.
Yeah, and then you have the classic clip of when they open the door. You have DJ as the ninja with the sword stuck through him, but you have Dan doing the voice. Welcome to the Tunnel of Terror. Please join us. So good, so good.
Yeah.
And then, at the end, you have the whole thing that they're trying to, Dan and Roseanne are trying to one-up each other. And it's almost like it's a post-credit sequence where everything's over. Roseanne's sitting at the kitchen table. she's on the phone, and Dan walks in, and she's like, "Well, all right, I guess the kids would like to see you. I guess you should come over. 3 weeks? All right. I mean, I guess you and Dad are welcome." And Dan starts freaking out. No. And she's like, "Okay, well, all right, we'll see you Saturday. Bye." And he's like, "You call her back? There's no way that woman is staying here for 3 weeks." And then Roseanne goes, "The Master."
Yeah.
And then he's like, the fucking music comes on. He gets on his knees, starts fucking bowing to her.
Yeah.
I mean, and they have a slew of Halloween episodes.
Oh yeah.
I have a DVD of it's just the Halloween episodes. I put that. I'm gonna put it on tomorrow.
Fucking right. Well, there's a couple things from the Bob's Burgers ones where it's it's kind of like a direct pull. Like the child Louise, she can't be scared.
Yeah.
So Bob and Linda, the parents, they put on a haunted house, and it turns out it's a setup beyond a setup, and you'll be into it. But There was one other honorable mention that I wanted to bring up, and remember the judge from Night Court? He was in It, the original It. They had a Halloween episode where he found out his house was haunted, and his neighbor, because his neighbor was an Asian guy, and always be like, "Oh, you're the funniest man I know," and he was talking about him. He's like, "Man died in your house. It was the second funniest man I know." So they're having a haunting, and that was always one that stuck with me, and I remember that one too. But oh man, I forget that. What was it called? Dan? I forget the fucking name of that show, man. But it was good. But there's so many good fucking Halloween.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, and I also just a little more credit for Roseanne. She was her show was the one that started the annual Halloween episode.
Right.
People will usually come up with, "No, man, fucking Home Improvement." No, fuck them. They did it after.
Yeah, no.
Roseanne started it, and you could always see that whoever was writing that show was watching the Roseanne episode first. And like, "Oh, we gotta do this. We gotta do this."
Right.
And plenty of people have pointed it out, and it's just like her episodes had like. They just got it. You know what I mean? Like they just had like, they have the one where they do like, it's almost like a version of Scrooge, but it's Halloween past. That one's fucking awesome. Then there's a really weird one. It involves like Jerry Garcia. And it's like, okay, she was in a weird spot when she did this one.
Well, most people always go to Simpsons Treehouse of Terror.
Treehouse of Horror.
Horror. I'm sorry. And there's a lot of good ones, but there's some crap though.
Unpopular opinion. The Simpsons were just okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a big Simpsons guy.
Hey,
but always
don't at me, listeners.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I watched The Simpsons when I was a kid. I was there when it aired. I watched it when it was aired.
Same.
And I just, it's fine. I get it. But like the people who are like super Simpsons fans, like people who are super Office fans, it's just like, just please, relax.
Yeah, it's all right.
We get it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And like, but there was one really good one. They did.
No, there are good ones.
They did Evermore, and it was like all the characters, and they just did it. It wasn't like even funny. You know what I mean? They just Nevermore, and I was like, that's weird. They just did Edgar Allan Poe, and I was like, oh, that's.
They do
cool.
The Raven.
I'm sorry, The Raven. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, they did The Raven, and I was like, they didn't even like do their comic, comedic spin on it.
Well, good. That's a breath of fresh air.
Right. And I remember being a kid and I was like, wow, this is cool.
I remember seeing the one where like Homer like sells his soul for a donut or whatever.
Oh, and of course he did.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever. I get it. But then like I hadn't heard about it for years. And then all of a sudden people were like, dude, did you see the opening of The Simpsons last night? I was like, that's still on TV.
Yeah.
Because it was like in the opening, they had Edgar Allan Poe standing right next to H.P. Lovecraft. I was like, okay.
But you're like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm like,
cool.
did they do anything Lovecraftian? No. I was like,
oh yeah,
I'm good then.
They're like, well, the aliens have tentacles that they have in every season.
Like, yeah, doesn't make Lovecraftian.
I know. That's why I made the funny voice. No,
I know you know. I'm just saying. Well, I think that kind of brings our little halfway to Halloween shindig, powwow,
extravaganza.
I wouldn't go extravaganza. I would say the Halloween episode.
Right. Yeah, that's the extravaganza.
This was just a little, hey folks, we feel your pain.
We're with
There's plenty of Halloween things you can do, but what you shouldn't do is post Halloween #Halloween365. Anything to do with spoopy, anything that. Please stop with the countdowns. Please stop with the countdowns, people. It's coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't race the day of Halloween. If you want to do countdowns, let me read it. Go ahead with the countdowns, but once we get to October, stop. Because now we're in the season. We don't want to race through the fucking month. God.
Yeah, as soon as like September 29th hits, like I walk out of the front of my house and like I just feel like Gomez Adams. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I wake up and my head's a pumpkin.
Yeah, right. Crazy. Exactly. Like I get to like once we get to that like that close, I just want everything to stand still and like just like let me breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Let me breathe now. Like
exactly.
Oh man, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, you can do the countdowns, but once we get to the end of September.
Yeah.
Start enjoying and stop rushing.
It's the whole season to enjoy, and it's great to finally for it to get there. But like when you're telling me, it's only 3 more days to Halloween, it's like stop.
Yeah,
it's like that's upsetting.
Yeah, there's only 3 days left. Of Halloween.
Yeah, the last day is the big celebration, but we celebrate
3 months.
October people. You know, we celebrate
September, October, November.
It's true.
Halloween.
The Halloween after party. November is, I think I christened that like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
November is the Halloween after party.
Yeah. Well,
it's also my birthday.
Yeah, we've said years ago we via text with like me, you, Chris, and other people. We're just like, no, we're doing 3 months from now. So it's
I mean, hey, why not?
Right.
And to your brother's credit, Chris, he fucking put his decorations up like August 30th.
He's nuts, dude. Him and my wife, Britt, they are like, no, August, it's here, and I'm like, all right, shit, go nuts, guys.
I have to wait till after my daughter Lily's birthday, which is September 8th. But then after that, I'm just like, the hood goes over my head. It's like, now we call upon the power of the dark gods now.
Well, my mom got me this thing for, it was actually Christmas, because my mom, one of her things she does, she gets me a bunch of like Halloween decorations for Christmas. And she always goes like, it's a joke. It's a joke gift. That's her thing. Like, it's a joke. And like, I love it. Like,
this
she's
is
like
my
worried.
favorite gift, Mom.
Right. Yeah. She's like worried I'm not going to love it. Right. And the one she got me last year, it's a fucking hearse. Right. And it's got a mummy hanging out the passenger window, and like I think like a vampire Dracula like driving it, and it's got fucking hydraulics and it bounces, and I think it plays, I forget which song it plays, but it's like right on my TV. It's like the coolest fucking thing, and I'm cool. I was like, Mom, like, what do you mean this is a joke gift? Like, do you see my smile?
Yeah, am I a joke to you?
Yeah, I mean, this is a joke. This is all. But all right, let's calm this down. Let's wrap this up because we're not going to give too much of the goods away because we do have an extravaganza coming up.
By then we'll be so amped up it'll be.
It'll be nuts. Like next time we got to figure out our next. And I want to apologize again. We're both very busy. There will be more episodes coming that are in line.
Yeah, we're trying to keep it steady for you guys, but we both have very jam-packed schedules.
A lot of people don't want to work in my field, so you got to fill in where you can.
Yeah.
And take up fucking days of your time. But so all right, guys, for this episode of Other Dangerous Podcast, I'm Ken James.
And I'm Happy Halloween.
Son of a bitch. And as always, have a spooky evening. Thank you for listening to Other Dangerous Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerouspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangerous Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.